Hi everyone, I'm so happy you're here today. We can feel exhausted running from task to task, earning money, only to watch it disappear too quickly, and still feeling like life is slipping through your fingers. I completely understand that feeling. Life can get overwhelming, and even when we work hard, it often feels like we're chasing our own shadow bills pile up, plans go awry, and stress becomes constant. I know because I've been there too, juggling responsibilities while wishing I had more control and freedom. So I'll share practical habits and methods that have helped me live more mindfully, spend smarter, and enjoy everyday moments without financial stress. I make sure that I will do this in 2026 too. Watch until the end and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for even more tips that truly make life lighter and more fulfilling. Now we're starting with Plan Every Penny. At the end of each month, I make it a quiet ritual to sit down with my notebook and carefully list all my upcoming expenses. I start with the fixed costs, rent, electricity, water, insurance, because these are non-negotiable and must be planned for. Then I turn to the variable expenses like groceries, dining out, clothing, and small personal treats. I spend about 30 minutes every Sunday evening reviewing the past month's spending and planning for the week ahead. During this time, I mark which items are essential and which can be reduced or postponed. It's often surprising to discover little habits that quietly drain money, like the number of takeaway coffees I'd bought without thinking, and it gives me the chance to reset. Over time, I've started creating a visual tracker using colors red for fixed costs, green for flexible spending, and yellow for savings or special treats. Seeing it all in front of me brings a sense of control I didn't have before. I also reflect on my emotional spending, noticing when stress or boredom leads me to shop unnecessarily. This small but consistent practice not only helps me stay within budget, but also lightens my mind. Knowing that I've thought through every upcoming expense reduces anxiety and even makes everyday life more enjoyable, because money is no longer a source of constant worry. Each week, I feel more confident in my financial choices, and it reminds me that budgeting is not about restriction. It's about creating space to enjoy life without the shadow of money stress. Once I have a clear picture of my budget, the next step is being thoughtful about how I actually spend it. Next, we'll focus on mindful purchases. Shopping wisely has always felt like a small but powerful way to take control of my life and reduce stress. I plan to be even more deliberate about every purchase I make. Whenever I need something, whether it's a household appliance, a kitchen gadget, or even clothes, I make it a rule to compare prices at 2 or 3 different stores first. I also use apps that check price history and product reviews. It might seem like extra effort at first, but it actually saves me time and prevents buyer's remorse. When I recently needed a new vacuum cleaner, I read dozens of reviews, compared prices online, and waited for a small promotion. In the end, I managed to buy a model that was 20% cheaper than the listed price, and it fully met my family's needs. That moment felt rewarding, not just because I saved money, but because I had taken my time to make an informed decision rather than rushing into a purchase. I also keep a running list of items I truly need and check it regularly against ongoing promotions. This helps me avoid impulsive shopping when I feel tired, bored, or influenced by flashy ads. I've learned that saying no to things I don't really need is as important as finding the best deal. Over time, this approach has changed my relationship with shopping. It's no longer stressful or guilt-ridden. Instead, it becomes an exercise in mindfulness and self-control, giving me satisfaction and freeing me from the constant pressure to spend. Don't miss tomorrow's video, where I'll share simple, healthy, Japanese-inspired habits for daily life. These practical tips are easy to follow, budget-friendly, and surprisingly effective. You'll definitely find them useful for feeling calmer, healthier, and more in control. Now let's talk about social budgeting. Maintaining meaningful relationships doesn't have to come with a high price tag. I've learned that small personal gestures often mean more than expensive gifts. For birthdays or special occasions, I make handmade presents or small meaningful items. Last month, I made a box of chocolates and wrote a heartfelt card for my best friend's birthday. She truly appreciated the effort, and I felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that I had expressed my care without overspending. Moments like these remind me that connection comes from intention, not cost. Beyond gift giving, I try to engage in experiences that strengthen relationships while staying within a budget. Instead of going out to expensive restaurants or events, I organize simple gatherings at home, a tea afternoon with close friends, a homemade dinner, or even cooking together. These moments allow for real conversation, laughter, and memories that money can't buy. I also set clear boundaries for attending social events, prioritizing those that are meaningful and manageable for my finances. I've realized that this approach not only reduces financial stress, but also deepens bonds. It's freeing to know that I can nurture my friendships and family ties without feeling pressured to spend excessively. And, focusing on meaningful connections inspired me to simplify my life and keep only what matters. Next, we come to embracing simplicity. Living simply has become one of my main goals for 2026. To practice a simpler lifestyle, I regularly go through my belongings and remove anything I no longer need. Last weekend, I spent a few hours organizing my wardrobe. I set aside all the clothes I hadn't worn in over 2 years and sold about a third of them to a secondhand shop. It felt surprisingly liberating to see neatly arranged shelves and drawers where everything has its place and is easy to find. The act of decluttering doesn't just create physical space, it brings a mental clarity that helps me feel lighter and more focused. I've also adopted the principle of one in, one out. Every time I bring a new item into my home, I commit to letting go of an old one. This habit prevents the accumulation of unnecessary things and encourages mindful purchasing. It also helps me resist the temptation of trends and impulse shopping, which often leads to regret and wasted money. Instead, I focus on experiences and moments that truly matter, like cooking a meal with family, enjoying a walk in the park, or reading a book in a cozy corner of my tidy home. Living simply isn't only about things, it's also about how I treat myself. I've found that I can nurture my well-being every day without expensive indulgences. Now let's explore affordable self-care. I've realized that relaxation doesn't have to come with a hefty price tag. Every evening, I make it a point to take a 20-minute walk around my neighborhood, breathing in the fresh air, listening to the gentle rustle of leaves, and observing the quiet rhythm of my surroundings helps me release tension I didn't even notice during the busy day. On days when the weather isn't friendly, I retreat to a quiet corner of my home for a short meditation session. Just 15 minutes of focusing on my breath and letting go of worries is enough to reset both my mind and body. These small practices might seem simple, but they make a real difference in how I approach the rest of my evening and the following day. I've started to integrate relaxing habits into other parts of my routine. In the mornings, I listen to soothing music while sipping my coffee, or I read a few pages of a light psychology book before starting work. At night, I have a playlist of calm instrumental tracks that helps me wind down and prepare for sleep. Combining these small, cost-free practices ensures that I maintain steady energy levels and a balanced mindset without spending on expensive spa treatments or gym memberships. I've noticed that these habits not only reduce stress, but also help me feel more present and grateful in daily life. Taking care of myself in this intentional, simple way has become one of my favorite rituals, reminding me that calm and well-being are choices I can make every day. Taking care of my mind and body naturally led me to take care of my space, but small, regular decluttering sessions help me feel lighter and more organized, both physically and mentally. Next up is weekly decluttering. I've committed to spending 10 to 30 minutes each week on a small decluttering session, focusing on one area at a time. For example, I break down my kitchen into sections, pantry, fridge, and drawers, and tackle one part each week. During these sessions, I make sure to use up any remaining food items before buying new ones. It's surprising how often I find ingredients I forgot I had, which saves me trips to the store and unnecessary spending. Clothes and household items also get this weekly attention. I sort through what I no longer wear or use, selling some items online or donating them to charity. This process not only frees up space, but also gives me a sense of accomplishment and joy when I see tidy, functional areas. I've developed a simple rule: see it, use it, return it. This principle makes it easier to maintain order, reduces the time I spend searching for things, and prevents buying duplicates. Through these small, consistent efforts, I've realized that decluttering is more than just organizing objects. It's about organizing my life. It teaches patience, mindfulness, and resourcefulness, and it reminds me to appreciate what I already have. By taking a little time each week to care for my surroundings, I feel lighter, more in control, and more connected to the rhythm of everyday life. As I decluttered and organized, I started noticing small achievements in my daily habits. Now we move to meaningful milestones. I'll share how tracking spending and celebrating small wins keeps me motivated and transforms financial management into an empowering habit. I used to feel overwhelmed at the end of each month, unsure where my money had gone, and that constant uncertainty added stress I didn't need. Now I make it a point to record every expense daily, whether it's a coffee on the way to work, groceries, or a small treat for myself. I use a simple app and occasionally a notebook, whichever feels convenient, and I love that I can see exactly how my money flows. This small habit has given me clarity, control, and surprisingly, a sense of pride in managing my finances. I also celebrate small financial milestones along the way. When I finally paid off my credit card debt, I treated myself to a lovely dinner at my favorite local restaurant. It was a small, meaningful reward that acknowledged my effort without derailing my budget. I also take photos of my expense tracker charts. Seeing the progress visually gives me a tangible sense of accomplishment. Even small savings, like setting aside money from skipping a delivery coffee, are recorded and tracked, and watching them accumulate motivates me to keep going. To make it even more engaging, I use color-coded charts and reminders. Essential expenses, flexible spending, and savings each have their own color, so I can instantly see patterns and adjust when needed. These visual cues make money management feel less like a chore and more like a game, turning progress into something I can actually enjoy. Next, we focus on investing in myself. For 2026, I've decided to take a more intentional approach to investing in personal growth. Instead of waiting for a perfect time, I've started setting aside 5 to 10% of my monthly income for long-term investments. Each month, I contribute a modest amount to a low-cost index fund, and at the same time enroll in online courses to enhance my financial literacy and professional skills. For me, this isn't just about money, it's about creating a sense of security and building options for the future. Knowing that I'm steadily accumulating wealth while learning empowers me and reduces the anxiety I used to feel about finances. I also approach investing in a step-by-step, thoughtful way. I read books about personal finance, follow trusted resources online, and participate in small community groups or forums where people share their experiences. This allows me to make informed decisions rather than blindly putting money into something unfamiliar. For instance, I started by investing small amounts in index funds instead of trying to pick individual stocks, which felt less risky and more manageable. Each decision, no matter how small, gives me confidence and a tangible sense of progress. Every course I take or book I read not only improves my skills, but also changes the way I think about money, work, and life choices. I'm no longer paralyzed by fear of making mistakes with my money. Instead, I celebrate small steps, like my first successful investment, or completing a course as milestones toward greater independence. Finally, let's discuss smart meal planning. Here, I share strategies to reduce food waste, save money, and eat healthily by planning meals and using leftovers creatively. One of my habits is planning a weekly menu before shopping. By listing the meals for the week, I can make a precise shopping list, which helps me avoid impulse purchases and reduces waste. I also pay attention to what I already have at home. For example, leftover vegetables from the previous week often become the base for new dishes. I recently made a stir-fry with some carrots, bell peppers, and cabbage that were about to wilt. Not only did I avoid throwing them away, but I also saved roughly 30% of my usual grocery bill for that week. It felt satisfying to transform what could have been waste into a fresh, tasty meal. I've also learned to shop smartly, buying seasonal produce, taking advantage of supermarket promotions, and sometimes preparing lunches to bring to work instead of eating out. This reduces unnecessary spending, while also giving me more control over what I eat. I keep a small notebook of favorite recipes and simple meals that I can rotate so I don't get bored. I even enjoy experimenting with new, easy recipes I find online, which adds creativity to the process. These small habits build a sense of resourcefulness and mindfulness. Managing food expenses this way doesn't feel restrictive. It feels like a practical and saving has never meant simply spending less money. It means spending with intention, placing money where it truly has value. When each dollar is used in the right place at the right time, it brings back what we genuinely need and what we truly deserve. I believe everyone has a different background, income level, and way of thinking, so saving should never be forced or imposed. What works for one person may feel restrictive or unrealistic for another. That's why I don't believe in extreme cutbacks or constant self-denial. Instead of obsessively reducing expenses, we can be flexible, choosing what matters most to us and letting go of what doesn't add real value. The psychology behind saving is just as important as the actions themselves. Saving with fear, guilt, or comparison easily turns into extremism. You may start measuring everything by money and forget that life also needs joy, comfort, and small pleasures. True saving should create peace, not pressure. Saving is a tool to live more comfortably, not a cage that limits my life. It allows me to feel secure, make better choices, and enjoy what I spend on without regret. When saving comes from clarity rather than scarcity, it becomes an act of self-respect. And that, to me, is the real purpose of saving, not to worship money, but to use it wisely so life feels lighter, calmer, and more aligned with who we are. As we wrap up these simple yet powerful habits, from careful budgeting and mindful shopping to decluttering, self-care, and smart meal planning can truly transform how we manage our finances and enjoy everyday life. By taking small, intentional steps, I've learned that saving money and reducing stress doesn't mean sacrificing happiness. It's about creating space, clarity, and peace of mind in daily life. I encourage you to try out these practical tips and routines in your own life. I'm sharing this journey with you, and I hope it inspires you to feel more in control, lighter, and more joyful while handling money wisely. After this video, you shouldn't miss my special video. It's full of practical, easy-to-apply strategies that complement the lifestyle tips we've discussed here, and it would be a shame to skip such useful advice. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, because you deserve a life that's calmer, more fulfilling, and truly enjoyable. Share these insights with friends and